Hello and welcome to today's reflection. Today we are going to look at several verses from Acts 5, which is our lectionary reading set for this morning. And my thought, I guess, that goes along with this is just how the various different characters within this narrative, within this story, how they respond and react. Some are baffled and confused and don't understand what's going on. Others seem to be take everything in their stride and don't seem to think anything unusual has happened. And I like the way that there's a real turnaround of those who perhaps think they are close to God and know what God is asking them to do, and those who perhaps are being persecuted for their faith. So I'm going to read you Acts 5, starting at verse 17. Then the high priest took action, he and all who were with him, that is, the sect of the Sadducees. Being filled with jealousy, he arrested the apostles and put them in a public prison. But during the night, an angel of the Lord opened the doors, brought them out, and said, "Go, stand in the temple, and tell the people the whole message about this life." When they heard this, they entered the temple at daybreak and went on with their teaching. When the high priest and those with him arrived, they called together the council and the whole body of the elders of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. But when the temple police went there, they did not find them in the prison. So they returned and reported, "We found the prison securely locked and the guards standing at the doors, but when we opened them, we found no one inside." Now when the captain of the temple and the chief priests heard these words, they were perplexed about them, wondering what might have been going on. Then someone arrived and announced, "Look, the men whom you put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people." Then the captain went with the temple police and brought them, but without violence, for they were afraid of being stoned by the people. And I just like the whole idea that the guards went to the prison to collect the prisoners, but found the doors were locked and the prison was empty. And I can just imagine how confused and baffled they were, how they couldn't really make sense of what has happened. And why would they? I mean, it's the most unusual thing to happen, isn't it? An angel of the Lord arrived and opened the doors and presumably locked them again from the sound of things behind the apostles. And just also how relaxed the apostles seemed to be about being rescued, and at daybreak they were back at the temple again, even though they'd only just been arrested, preaching the word of the Lord. And sometimes it can be the same for us. Sometimes life makes a lot of sense, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we can see God's hand at work in things, and sometimes we really are baffled as to what God is doing and why. So I think today, just to sit with these words, I suppose, and just perhaps think about times when God has really been active in your life, when you've been able to see his hand at work, maybe not at the time, maybe subsequently. And just have an opportunity to spend time with God and ask him perhaps what it is that he wants you to do today, where he wants you to speak his word and to share your faith with someone around you. Amen.